comes to talk. And seeing that it's Valentine's Day, let's talk about love.
It's all about love today.
Today is Valentine's Day, or as men like to call it, extortion day. Love is a two-way street constantly under construction. And last but not least, love is a lot like a backache. It doesn't show up on x-rays, but you know that it's there. Happy Valentine's Day from WSJS. And love responsibly.
Public ice skating is happening at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. Join them for public skating hours, no school skate days, holiday skating, group skating lessons, and party time skating, because parties on ice are the best. Visit WSFairgrounds.com for more information. Public ice skating is open at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, your one-stop source for entertainment in Winston-Salem.
The YMCA of Northwest North Carolina offers more than fitness. It's the perfect holiday gift. Dive into special pricing on personal training and unlock the full potential of all 13 Y locations. The YMCA of Northwest North Carolina is where community meets commitment. So give the gift of belonging and wellness this season. Visit ymcanwnc.org and make the Y your home for health and happiness.
Happy. I'm so happy, yeah.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Waking Up Prowled on WSJS.
Watch out, I'm coming for you now.
Fueling fans, flavor, and fun.
Wake up, I'm trying to fence around.
The morning show that's always on the prowl is served up by Foster Hobbs Coffee Roasters in High Point. With its fresh specialty roasted beans crafted to order, each cup is a journey. And by High Point University, the premier life skills university and ranked the #1 best-run college in America by the Princeton Review.
Make way for the king.
This is Waking Up Prowled with Stephen Beck.
Things were going down late last night in Tucson. FBI, SWAT, police agents everywhere. It's breaking news on the latest in what I think is a really captivating Nancie Guthrie mystery. Plus, here on Valentine's Day, I've got something UNC fans should not be in love with if I were them. It's Waking Up Proud here on WSJS, streaming on our X page at Stephen Beck TO, as well as at WSJS Radio and on YouTube. Or if you're just out and about in your car, you can also take us with you on the go all the time, WSJS.com. We hope you'll jump in, get involved with us this morning at 336-777-1600, a direct line right here to hang out with me. Got some gifts that I might even be able to give away to you this morning. So get involved as you feel comfortable, of course, and get up and out of bed this morning with me on a Saturday. Coming up as well today, couple of really nice segments that I don't want anybody to miss out on. One covers a hockey tournament going on in the Triad over really the last 2 weekends. But it's got ACC teams in it. It's got SEC teams in it. It had my beloved High Point University team in it last weekend. A great collection of a lot of different talent there, and you don't get to see all of that in one place in collegiate hockey very often. So we're going to share those details with you. Also, a really nice follow-up to an ongoing story with High Point Central football. You may or may not have heard that the varsity team at High Point Central is going to be on a pause, a break for this coming football season to allow for really a rebuild, a rejuvenation of that football program there in High Point. And this week, they announced a new football coach, Ricky Dowdy, who will be our guest here on Waking Up Proud this morning. coming up this hour, actually. It's rare, though, on a show like this that I'm trying to reach across the state of North Carolina, cover a lot of different things from food to sports, entertainment, and sometimes the serious news, that we would start in Tucson. But this is such a captivating national story to me that I know so many people have been following. My wife, for instance, she stayed up last night, and she is not a night owl. She is really the direct opposite of that. She's an elementary educator, means that she has to be up super early. She's working with kids all day. You can only imagine at the end of all that, the drain that she feels. Plus, we have our own family dynamics of stuff going on. But she was up last night. I mean, just enamored, glued to a screen, following what is happening. Let's start briefly at the beginning for those that may or may not have been following the dynamics of this. But Savannah Guthrie is a host for the Today Show on NBC. Been that way for probably 20 years. And recently, her mother, the start of this month, February 1st, went missing. Since that time, now going on the 14th day of her being gone, so many different dynamics and intricacies of this mystery, I'll call it, has fallen out. The most probably dynamic was a couple of nights ago when finally the SWAT team took someone in and investigated them and questioned them. It was just ended up being a delivery driver who had nothing to do with it. That was until last night. Authorities, including the Pima County Sheriff's Department, who's been running point on this whole thing, conducted significant operations near Nancie Guthrie's home, about a couple of miles from her residence where she was last seen those 13 days ago. Roads were blocked off, multiple law enforcement vehicles, including the forensic unit and the SWAT team, were all involved with this. Officials confirmed that a search warrant was executed at a residence last night, and investigators spent hours examining at least one vehicle. It was in, I don't want to besmirch the name of Culver's this morning, but it was in a parking lot of a Culver's. Local reporting says that at least 3 people were detained or at least taken in for questioning in connection with this investigation, 2 adult men and 1 woman, and it has not been confirmed yet that anyone has actually been arrested or charged. The Sheriff's Department also would not necessarily confirm yet, but there's several stories and details that are saying there's also someone that is deceased with this. Now, from just the clips that I saw, you have a drone up in the air showing nighttime black and white coverage of about 100 FBI, Pima County sheriffs, police personnel all around this one home. Again, 1.9 miles, I believe, within reach of Nancie Guthrie's house where she was last confirmed to be. You have a car, as already mentioned, in a Culver's parking lot where they have this tarp that they've draped up so that news media and clips can't be seen inside that trunk and what they're looking at. SWAT teams. You also have the forensic unit. It was also said that there was DNA found inside of Nancie Guthrie's home yesterday that was not her own, nor was it anyone else's that had been recently associated with her. You've got gloves that have been found. The video footage, now with better drawings of a suspect they're looking for, who's supposed to be 5'9", 5'10" male, has some facial hair, may look like he's a different nationality, and who was clearly fiddling and messing with home security cameras at Nancie Guthrie's home. I have all sorts of questions. I don't know about you. I am just like drawn to all this because the Guthrie family, while all of this is going on, are releasing their own social media videos, which I have to say, they've got to be excruciatingly difficult to video. But as somebody that is completely outside of this family and watching it from miles and states away through the camera, I just sense a complete awkwardness about it all. It is really strange. Then you have ransom letters that keep getting sent to different parties. TMZ's been right at the center of a lot of these. A couple of them claimed that there would be deadlines. Those deadlines have passed. A couple of them claimed that they knew who the person was that came and took Nancie Guthrie, but they don't want to give that information unless they get a Bitcoin out of it. And I don't think that anybody has put money into that Bitcoin account. So all of this is going on right now in our country. An 84-year-old woman is missing. And last night, tons of activity made it appear that they might have broken through, and they're working long and hard on whatever these three detainees are and whatever was inside of that car at the Culvers last night. So we're going to continue to follow this. Like I said, I am just completely blown away at all of those breaking details overnight. That's the way I started my morning. Welcome to the party here on Waking Up Proud. Coming up, it's Valentine's Day, but it's not something, if I was a UNC fan, that I'd really be in love with. I'll be honest. So I'm going to share that with you. It's all just getting started here on Waking Up Proud on WSJS.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2026 Winter Games. American skiers Jalen Koff and Liz Lemley returned to the podium this morning, winning silver and bronze in the women's dual moguls final. Koff says teamwork makes the dream work.
A lot of what makes us so strong is the relationships that we have with each other. We're really close, really supportive of each other, and constantly encouraging and pushing each other on and off the hill to continue to push the jumps. As a collective, we just get stronger and stronger.
The silver, Koff's third overall and second in Milan. She told reporters after the race that she probably won't be back in 4 years. At the Stelvio Ski Center, the men's giant slalom final saw Brazilian Lucas Pinheiro Broughton win gold. With this Winter Games update, I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Waking Up Prowl. The pulse of local sports and life with Stephen Back.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, and thanks for spending at least the start of it with me. Beck on WSJS, Waking Up Proud. Hope you'll follow along with me all throughout the week, though, and you can do that at Teed Off Sports. That's TEEDOFF Sports. Brand new launch site this last week of all sorts of things like you get here on the mornings on Saturday, entertainment, food, sports, podcasts, videos. It's all there for you at Teed Off Sports. Or if it's just easier, you can go on X and follow along there at Teed O Sports. And look forward to you being a part of all the things that I have going on throughout the week. Now, before we fully get off to our start this morning, I want to make sure that you're caught up with all the latest and greatest.
Hot off the prowl with Stephen Beck.
Latest in some local North Carolina news overnight. An 18-year-old was sentenced to life in prison. That is without parole for a 2022 mass shooting that unfortunately and sadly killed 5 people in Raleigh. The judge rejected arguments for a chance of release, citing the severity and premeditation of that crime. Early voting began in North Carolina for the 2026 primary elections. Voters in all 100 counties can cast ballots through February 28th ahead of the March 3rd primary. And a civilian aircraft was intercepted yesterday by an F-16 after it entered into temporary restricted airspace because President Donald Trump was flying through that airspace to visit our state at Fort Bragg. The plane violated the flight restriction around that visit and did not have a flight plan that was actually filed. A little scary there. But it prompted the military to respond, and all landed safely, including President having a good visit to our state yesterday. Now, it is Valentine's Day today, but I'll just say, if I were a UNC fan, I would not be in love with what has transpired since last weekend. Now, at the start of it, you're probably elated, on cloud 9. The Tar Heels went out, defeated their arch rival in Chapel Hill, did something that I admittedly didn't think that they would actually do. They came all the way back in the second half. Seth Trimble hit his last second shot. Yes, it was a little funny around all the court storms, and I know people are claiming about punches being thrown into somebody's face. And yes, I saw all of the fines that came out from the ACC, 50 grand for fans just trying to have a good time. There's lots of things that we could branch off to about that. But after you were on the top of that mountain, then UNC went out and laid an egg. Play in Miami, lost the game. It's not so much for me that they lost. Final score 75-66. It's more the happenings around this loss. It's more that they have a head coach in Hubert Davis that immensely surprised me when the Tar Heels defeated the Blue Devils. He really did. I felt like John Shire held an advantage for the Blue Devils over a very evenly close matched Tar Heel team. There were minimal things that I felt like would make a difference between those two. Just to recap real quick, outside shooting was one of those. So Seth Trimble hitting that last second shot, that's a big part of it. I also felt like coaching, strategy, all the game planning, that was going to be big. And I personally felt that John Shire would hold an advantage over Hubert in that department, but Hubert showed me wrong. He did have a good play drawn up for that last second shot, and he got his team to storm back to get the win. But then during their loss to Miami, after the game was over, he had to address a couple of concerns. The first is, was this a letdown game? Was this a team in the Tar Heels coming in, kind of sleepwalking because they had just gotten such a big win over the Blue Devils? And again, if you have thoughts on that, 336-777-1600. I would love to know just your general thoughts on that one, because honestly, I walk away and I say, okay, they just beat their rival. There was a court storm. They spent all sorts of time out on Franklin Street celebrating. It was a huge win for the Tar Heels and their resume looking ahead at the NCAA tournament. I mean, it really did almost cement them to where they would have a hard time messing this up. But now they're on a trail of kind of end up being around that same bubble like they were a year ago, if a couple of things may or may not happen here. But we'll address that in just a second. But they did all of this, and then they go to play at Miami, and they just drop it. They lose it. Miami is I'd say a middle team for me. Surprised a lot of people in the ACC this year, but they're a middle team. UNC is a better skilled talent group. Shouldn't have lost, but they were sleepwalking in. That's my feelings. Well, Huber doesn't feel that way. That was the first thing that he had to address. Nope. Shut down the reporters immediately with those questions. But even worse now, if you just want to add insult to injury, it's actually an injury. The beloved freshman star of this Tar Heel team, Caleb Wilson, came away with a significant injury. But this is where I really don't love. This is what I despise. He played during the game against Miami. It wasn't his best performance. I think he ended up like a 4 of 12 shooting or something like that. Wasn't very efficient. He wasn't their leading scorer. Jaron Stevenson was the leader that evening for the Tar Heels. But he had his wrist wrapped. It was clear that something was affecting him. They did x-rays at the time, and they had come out negative. He returned and played in the second half. And so I can see where members of the staff, including Hubert himself, may have not had every single detail on this, but it was something. Something here was clear and evident to be fighting through for Caleb. It was affecting him. He had it wrapped. It was very clear for everybody, even those of us watching miles away on a TV screen. After the game, here was UNC head coach Hubert Davis being asked about it.
What is Caleb's situation with his left hand?
There's no situation.
I mean, he's heavily wrapped. Did that impair his ability when he came back?
Not to my knowledge.
So I don't know. I just to replay that for you a little bit, because I know, again, some of these media and press rooms is kind of hard to hear. Reporters asking, so what's up with Caleb Wilson? Nothing. There's no situation. All right. Well, it looked like something was bothering him, in the second half. Do you feel like that's the case, Coach? No. You see, my problem here is that if you are the head coach, if you are the president, the CEO, the head man, you can't find yourself so disconnected from the organization, the group that you are supposed to be overseeing, that you're oblivious. And this is now twice that I feel like Hubert Davis has been addressing the media after a game and almost just been like, well, I don't even have a clue what's going on with my team. Are you so short-sighted, that close to the situation, that you can't honestly give good, solid, definitive answers for some of this stuff? All the way back when the Tar Heels went on their West Coast slide and they lost games at Cal and at Stanford, there was time during the press meetings at that point where he was asked about the same offensive scheme being run by the opponent. Caleb saw it. He addressed it in his media session, but no, Hubert Davis said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't address that. And here now, it comes out this week that Tar Heels freshman Caleb Wilson has a fractured hand. He's out indefinitely right now. Lots are assuming that he's going to be able to come back. I think that might be a bit of a foolish decision if he's really worried about his draft stock and worried about the NBA. If he's wanting to come back and keep playing college ball, I love it. I wish more guys would do that. But with all of that coming to fruition this week, you're the head coach. You're supposed to have answers. You're supposed to know what's going on. You're supposed to have the oversight for all of this stuff. And you don't have answers? That would drive and irritate me to the nth degree if I was a Tar Heel fan, expecting that this guy is leading my team. This is the guy. He doesn't know. Stay with us here, Waking Up Proud on WSJS 336-777-1600, the number to join us.
Feeling frosty? Don't hibernate, celebrate. It's the winter wonderland of winning at WSJS.com, where winter meets winning. For real. Every week, sign up for a chance at cool prizes. It's like a bear hug from Lady Luck. Hibernate later, win now. Dive into a wonderland of bear wins, where every click could be your ticket to cool treasures. Visit WSJS.com and be too cool to hibernate.
It goes from zero to brutal in just a whiff. Foster Hobbs Coffee Roasters in High Point. A sip of heaven that took a right turn at delicious and landed in the hearts of coffee lovers everywhere. With its fresh specialty roasted beans crafted to order, each cup is a journey from smooth blends to bold global roast. Only Foster Hobbs could brew this kind of magic, and it's called coffee. Now available at fosterhobbs.com. Brew your bliss today.
We know it's cold right now, but you can get a jump on your projects with Black Sand Company. Yes, now's the time to get ahead of your neighbors. Black Sand Company delivers the materials you need when you need them. Sand, gravel, topsoil, and mulch.
Whether you're a home builder, commercial contractor, or a DIY enthusiast, Black Sand Company provides prompt, dependable, and courteous service. Weather's not an issue for them. Is it for you? Black Sand Company, 745 West Clemensville Road in Winston-Salem, where great projects begin.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The Morning Huddle with Stephen Beck for real fans.
I'm living the good life. Follow me to a good place.
Waking Up Proud on WSJS.
It's a great day, and we thank you for starting with us here on Waking Up Proud. Beck here with you on WSJS and streaming on X at Stephen Beck TO, as well as at WSJS Radio. Our phone line, 336-777-1600, open to you at any time that you would like to jump in and get involved. Got a lot of events and things happening, and you would expect that, I guess, around a holiday like this. We'll tell you more about some things, but hey, this is one of the ones that if I was looking to take my little lady somewhere, it might be right down mine and her alley. The Six Shooters Gun Show. It's going on in Mount Airy at the Mount Airy Armory today, 9 to 5. They got guns, they got ammo, they got knives, all sorts of accessories, new and used. You can actually even bring your own firearm if you want to try to sell it. Just go to sixshows.com. You can get all the information, or it's at 185 Patrol Station Road in Mount Airy today, 9 to 5 for the Six Shooters Gun Show. That I can't think of anything more romantic to go and do on Valentine's. It's been about a month since the news came out that High Point Central's football team, their varsity, would be on a pause for this coming 2026-2027 season. They're not going to play a game. They haven't won a game in the past 2 seasons. And this last season, I don't even think they scored a point, if I remember correctly. So there's a lot of work to be done. And when this news came out, at first sight, it's like, man, that's really disappointing. Gotta be for somebody that's a rising senior. They want that Letterman's jacket, the dreams of Friday Night Lights and going out on top. And now they don't even get that chance. When more discussions that I had with Principal Mike Hettenbach at High Point Central, I really understood it's a deeper problem. There was actually even community members around High Point that came to me, and they shared more about how the dynamics around community involvement and really even a feel around sports it's kind of decreased slowly over time. And so it's a greater issue than just one football season at hand here. But I was happy to see that this week a new football coach was announced. Ricky Dowdy, who was a former linebacker at High Point Central, was named head coach. And man, I knew the first thing that I wanted to do was get him on here. Let's continue sharing this story. So with us now on Waking Up Proud on WSJS, happy to welcome in the newly announced as well football coach at High Point Central High School, Ricky Dowdy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for taking the time to jump on with us here. We had recently shared, I'll say it, disappointing news for some, exciting news maybe at the same time, that the High Point Central varsity football team would be taking a pause for this coming 2026-2027 football season. And we were able to get a lot of perspective on that from your principal, Mike Hettenbach, and appreciated him taking the time to join us. And he had talked about somebody that had previous experience and also somebody that really had connection with the school. And so I say all of that information, Ricky, because he hit the nail on the head. He ultimately called his shot ahead of time and said, this is what we really could use. And now he's got that. So let's start there. You being a former player at High Point Central High School, man, what's that feel like for you?
First and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. And it's a great feeling being able to come back home where it all started and give the program a revamp. And I said we haven't had pretty good seasons over the last few seasons, but it's a new year. Great things are coming. Change is coming, and I appreciate Hettenbach and the staff and the administration for giving me the opportunity.
I can't recall exactly the years you were a linebacker at Central. You might be able to correct me here. That might have been one of the last winning seasons that the team had. Is that right?
They had a couple more winners. I think they had I graduated in 2009. And I think from 2009, after I left, to about 2013, 14, I think they might have had 3 seasons in a row where they won about 9 games. So it continued after I left.
Part of my understanding and also belief here really is that sports and the connection in the actual High Point area. So we're talking Andrews, Southwest, Central. You could lump in Ragsdale maybe. That life of connection with the community and kids and all the things that happen with families, it's changed. It's evolved even from the time that you and I were in and around high school age. And Mike Hettenbach really talked a lot about how there's not a huge influx of even younger kids that are wanting to get into maybe playing football and have those experiences. So talk me through that process. What do you feel like you can do to really get young kids around the football facilities and maybe used to trying to get out there and give their shot at playing for Central?
I think it starts with just making kids fall in love with the game again. Social media plays a big part in it. So kids seeing High Point Central on social media, I think will help us going to these middle schools and showing my face and my staff showing our face to these kids so they get familiar with us. Will also help us just so they know we're there for them. Not only for football, but if they need someone they can talk to, that they in certain situations they don't feel comfortable talking to their parents, they can come talk to us. Because at the end of the day, we're here for the kids. It's all about the kids. Life goes on after football. So we want to build those relationships to where once football is done, they can still pick up the phone and call us. We can still pick up the phone and call them. But like I said, it's just bringing excitement back to the sport. Like you said, kids, when we were in school, it's a lot different. We went to school to play sports. Like, we was excited to play sports. And that's just not at High Point Central. Southwest, Rasda, Andrews, everybody was sports savvy back then. Everybody wanted to play sports. So I just think we got to bring that energy and that love back to any sport, not just football, basketball, softball, track, just getting the kids involved.
Ricky Dowdy, new head coach at High Point Central High School for the Bison program. Again, pausing for this immediate football season, but would be working, I'm sure, to rejuvenate and get everyone excited for the following season. You guys still have plans to work closely, correct me if I'm wrong, with the middle school and JV teams coming up for this year. Do you feel like through that process, you'll maybe be a leg ahead for the next football season, so you have better handle of the players that you have coming up and working together a game plan as you move forward?
Yes, I believe it's a great situation. It's like building a cake from scratch. Me and my staff, we can come in, establish a culture, a winning culture, structure, doing the things the right way, the way that we want it done. And I think that's going to help our program. And then once those middle school kids come in, they'll see how it's done. They already know what we expect from them and the standard we've set for them. So that I think it'll just fall right in place.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your time after High Point Central, where you played for NC State, and then you also ended up moving on to play professionally as well in football. What can those different levels of experience do for you as you go and start recruiting and talking to some of these kids that are interested in playing football?
Well, it was great playing on those levels because I've learned a lot from different players, from having to sit and wait my turn. And once my turn presented itself, I took advantage of it. So it's one of those things, you don't always have to play to learn. You can learn from watching as well. And being that I've played for fellow coaches, I've learned a lot. Coaches on my staff the same way. They've played college ball. They've played some professional ball. So it's a lot of knowledge we have to give back to the kids. And like I said, we're starting from scratch. So we can implement things the right way it should be implemented, as far as fundamental scheme, and show them, like I said, the way we want it to be done.
There may be some kids possibly listening to this, maybe parents that are hearing you and I speak, and it's a good opportunity for you to maybe talk a little bit about what you feel like the identity of High Point Central football under head coach Ricky Dowdy will look like going forward.
If you want to be a part of a program that plays fast, physical, and most importantly has fun, we're the program for you. Like I said, every kid is treated the same. I don't care if you're a starter. I don't care if you're third string, fourth string. Every kid's treated the same. Every kid's going to get a chance to play and prove themselves. Because practice, you can only do so much in practice. When the lights come on at night, that's when everything shows.
For this next fall, though, give me a little bit of an idea of what you'll be doing on any given Friday night. Are you out recruiting or looking at some other players? Are you out just strategizing what other competition and their teams are doing? What does your coming season look like?
it's going to be a little bit of everything. I'm still going to be working, preparing for the next week, breaking down film. But I also have a lot of fellow coaches that are mentors to me that coach. So I might be attending their games, seeing how they run things. Being that it's my first year being a head coach, I'm going to be learning and taking in all I can.
Well, head coach Ricky Dowdy, High Point Central Bison football program, man, we appreciate you taking the time, sharing with us, and we're excited to see what the new generation of Central football will entail once you guys get everything up and rolling.
I appreciate it. It's going to be a sight to see. I can promise you that.
That was Ricky Dowdy, head coach, High Point Central. And thanks for his time being with us here on Waking Up Proud. We've got my unpopular opinion coming up, plus more events we don't want you to miss out on this Valentine's Day. They're as romantic, if not more, than the gun show that we shared already. It's just getting started again. Waking Up Proud. Thanks for being with us.
Afternoons just got better with more guests, more opinions, and more laughs. The Dan Patrick Show.
That was a little much. Run your mouth.
Okay. I'm being very respectful. I was entertained by it. I enjoyed it. I encourage people to watch it.
Why don't you sit in your car and cry about it, John?
Yeah, why don't you listen to Green Day in your car, John?
Yeah, why don't you cry about it?
Yeah. Yes, Marvin.
I think that's the same John that told you to stay in your lane about Green Day.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekday afternoons at 2 on WSJS.
High Point University, the premier life skills university, is ranked the #1 best-run college in America by the Princeton Review. Employers value HPU's real-world preparation. Students love unprecedented access to global leaders on High Point's inspiring campus. And parents appreciate HPU's God, family, and country values. Choose to be extraordinary at High Point University.
Open the door to a better year with Precision Garage Door. Their $149 noisy garage door special silences the clatter. And with $250 off new double garage doors and $150 off singles, it's out with the old and in with Precision Garage Door. Start the year right with a smooth, silent garage door. Visit PrecisionDoorNC.com and discover the difference. New year, new door, same precision at PrecisionDoorNC.com.
Be still and know that I am God.
This is True Commentary with Stu Epperson, author and host of Truth Talk Live.
Psalm 46:10 was one of my dad's favorite verses. And in this crazy, chaotic rush to get places world, we need to stop sometimes. We need to be still. We need to listen. God is always at work. He's doing great things. The question is, am I so zealous about doing things for him and accomplishing things, or am I going to listen to what he's doing and ask him where he wants me to go, what he wants me to do? It's time to be still. Let God be God. Listen to him through his amazing word. Get in fellowship. Get in a good church that can direct you in the ways of God, and be still, because God wants to do great things in you, through you, and for you.
Join Stu on radio, social media, and his daily Truth Talk Live podcast. Learn more at truthnetwork.com.
Hi everyone, Brian Kilmeade here. I'm so excited to bring the latest breaking news, sports, politics, and entertainment to High Point, to Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and beyond. So join me weekday mornings at 10 right here on your home for the Brian Kilmeade Show. News, talk, sports, the Triad WSJS.
Wake up laughing. Stay for Stephen Beck's hot takes.
You know that I'm coming. That's a bad man.
You're waking up Prowl.
Back with you on the News Talk Sports Station for the Triad, WSJS, and streaming WSJS.com wherever you go. We hope you'll also check out teedoffsports.com all throughout the week. We have blogs there, so a little bit of written word of different things like some entertainment movie stuff that we just threw up there. We've got podcasts out, brand new one called Between the Shanks, all about golf. And we've also got videos like the Talk About Tour. I'll give you an update on that here coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, it's also time that I just get a little bit of stuff off of my chest with you here this morning.
It's time now. Steven's unpopular opinion.
For anyone just rolling over in bed this morning, still a little early, and I get that. Don't want you to forget, especially if you're a dude, it's Valentine's Day today. I'm here to share that these next few quote-unquote holidays are fake. I'm sad to say, because I have young daughters at home, and they love to celebrate. I mean, any chance that we get, honestly, as Americans, we often try to make it a party, make it a celebration. I like that life, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's kind of like, what is this holiday? What are we talking about here? And Valentine's Day is just the start of it. It started with Esther Howland. So again, this is probably more geared towards the guys, but if you're just like, oh, I really hate that Valentine's Day holiday, well, you have Esther to blame. In the 1840s, she began mass producing ornate Valentine's cards, and she earned the nickname Mother of the American Valentine. Of course, Hallmark, they used to have stores at any kind of mall all over America in the 90s, and that was, greeting card kind of big then too. So today we get to celebrate that one. Quickly followed up on Monday with President's Day. What? President's Day is actually a federal holiday, and really it's supposed to be honoring George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all of the presidents. Originally, the holiday began as a celebration of George Washington's birthday, February 22nd, became a federal holiday way back in 1879. And then in 1971, here's how you know it's kind of fudged. The federal government moved several holidays, including President's Day, to Mondays because they want to have that nice long weekend that I'm sure bankers and postal workers and anybody else that's directly related to the government, they're like, whoa, Beck, hold on a second here. Let's not get too hasty. I love that long weekend that I have coming up. And rolling out right after President's Day, looking ahead, flip the calendar pages a couple times. Next thing you know, it's St. Patrick's Day coming up. A celebration of Irish heritage. Mostly in big cities, Boston, New York, Chicago, they all have these huge parades. In Chicago, they dye their river green. I mean, it's a whole thing. I don't think any of it really matters. I'm a sucker for a good party, I guess, but it's just another day, So happy Valentine's Day to you. I got some good stuff coming up for you guys. If you've forgotten and you're like scrambling, oh no, what are we going to do now? Where am I going to turn? And what am I going to come up with? I got some ideas up my sleeve for you. Like maybe this next one, actually. Hey, if you are in the Triad area and you're looking to take your gal or your man out to do something fun today, you can go watch the ACCHL. And Robert Mulhern, who is overseeing and working hard on that event, joined Jeffrey on Triad Today. You can hear that show Monday through Friday, starting at 7 here on WSJS, and talked about that event. And they shared time with one another to give everybody all the details. You can get out there today and have yourself a good time on Valentine's.
Robert, a lot going on at the fairgrounds this weekend, my friend.
Yeah, always. We are loaded and jam-packed. We kicked off, I guess, round 2, so to speak, of the ACC hockey tournament last night. Had a couple games. I still don't know who won the the late game, but App State was playing ECU, and they were tied at 2 late into the night. But I do know UNC Charlotte ended up winning in overtime yesterday.
All right.
So they'll advance. And, at the end of the day, we've got some SEC hockey going on today, and we've got let's see what we got. Alabama playing South Carolina, a really neat matchup at 1:30.
Sure.
And then Ole Miss and Auburn at 4:15. That'll kind of be the SEC teams. Then we got a whole slew of ACC matchups with Georgia Tech and Georgetown coming up here at 10:30. Looks like we've got Richmond and Elon going on any moment. I'm not there yet, so I'm not watching that one. But and then St. Joe's and Virginia will play later tonight. So some good games on the schedule today, and that'll go all through the weekend. Tickets $10. Kids 17 and under are free. So all good things.
Get out there. There are 6 games on tap, and then it'll start tomorrow. We'll resume at 12 noon, and it'll go late into the evening, and then 2 more matches on Sunday at 11 and 2. Then this weekend, we also got the NASP Bullseye Tournament at the Event Center. That's happening today and tomorrow. And next weekend, Robert, the home show in the Event Center. If you need a little inspiration for your next big project, that's absolutely the place to get it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's returning the second year, but just jumping back real quick to the NASP tournament we have this weekend. It's the National Archery in the Schools program, and they are loading in the fairgrounds as we speak. There is over 1,000 students coming over the next 2 days. That all shoot archery all throughout North Carolina, so it's really cool. We've got the top 12 elementary schools, the top 10 middle schools, and the top 8 high school teams throughout the state that are all going to be here all weekend in the event center at the fairgrounds. So that's a pretty cool event. It's always neat to see all those kids come in, and I don't know where they start learning that at a young age to be rolling in at elementary school firing arches, but that's what they're doing.
Hey, talented young people. And then for those of you looking ahead, the T-Birds return on the 27th to take on the Watertown Wolves in the arena. The puck will hit the ice at 7:35. WSFairgrounds.com, your entertainment destination, not only for the Twin City, but the entire Piedmont Triad region. Robert, get out to the rink. Have a great one. Happy Valentine's Day. We'll talk with you next week, brother.
All right, let's do it again. Thanks, Jeffrey.
So that was Robert Mulhern on Triad Today. Again, you can hear that program with Christian and Jeffrey here on WSJS Monday through Friday, starting at 7 in the mornings. And you can get out today to Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Annex and watch yourself a little bit of hockey with your lovebird. I don't know about you, but there's always stories that you wonder if they're made up. So I'm going to run through a few real quick around Valentine's Day, and you can believe it or not, but all of these, just real quick, are true love stories. Have you heard the one about a dog that started the marriage? Well, a woman kept running into the same guy at a dog park because their dogs were obsessed actually with each other, and the dogs would literally start pulling their owners together. They started talking, dating. Later, they got married. How about the couple that met at the grocery store? The That's Not My Cart meet cute that they had. Guy accidentally grabs the wrong shopping cart. Woman chases him down, yelling, "Whoa, whoa, that's my food." So he panics. "Oh, then you can come and cook for me sometime." Woo-hoo! That's slick Rick thinking right there with that pickup line. Well, she laughed. They went on a date, ended up getting married. Then you got the time where a guy, because of a wrong number text message, meets his spouse. Guy texts a random number trying to reach out to a friend. The girl who received it joked back instead of actually just ignoring it like I do. I send those right to spam. They texted for days. Then they met. They dated. Now they're married. More than one way to skin a cat is what they say, and there's a lot of different ways that people meet up, get together, and now they're probably celebrating today somewhere. Happy to be celebrating with you. Some more breaking news with Hot Off the Prowl. It's all coming ahead for you next hour on Waking Up Proud.
From Cameron Indoor to the world, this excitement is built on brotherhood, where the crazies roar. Experience the passion, the pride, the power that is Duke basketball. Ready for another March run.
Striking like thunder. Woo! You can never stop me. Nah.
This afternoon, there will be no love at Cameron Indoor for the Blue Devils and Clemson Tigers. Catch every moment on WSJS. Complete schedule at WSJS.com.
High Point University, the premier life skills university, is ranked the #1 best-run college in America by the Princeton Review. Employers value HPU's real-world preparation. Students love unprecedented access to global leaders on High Point's inspiring campus. And parents appreciate HPU's God, family, and country values. Choose to be extraordinary at High Point University.
Too tough to tame? Try too rough to ride. Nothing about this place lets you sit back. It rips up your tires and tears at your heart. Let's go! History, glory, consequences. That's Darlington, where stripes are well earned. The Goodyear 400, NASCAR's best, face the lady in black. And this spring, how about that? She'll leave her mark. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Darlington Raceway, March 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
It's pure delight to sip your morning brew and soul-soothing to savor every drop. Thanks to Foster Hobbs Coffee Roasters, where every small batch is roasted to order, crafting flavors that dance on your palate. From smooth everyday blends to bold single origin roast, each cup is a journey around the globe. Fresh, flavorful, and fulfilling. Elevate your coffee experience at Foster Hobbs Coffee Roasters in High Point. A higher quality coffee serving a higher calling. Available at fosterhobbs.com.
Hear about it, talk about it. WSJS Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, Burlington. Online at WSJS.com. WSJS, where the triad comes to talk. And seeing that it's Valentine's Day, let's talk about love.
It's all about love today.
Ladies, whatever you look like, marry a man your own age. As your beauty fades, so will his eyesight. It's been said, all you need is love. But a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt. And last but not least, I didn't fall for you. You tripped me. Happy Valentine's Day from WSJS. And love responsibly.
Public ice skating is happening at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. Join them for public skating hours, no school skate days, holiday skating, group skating lessons, and party time skating, because parties on ice are the best. Visit WSFairgrounds.com for more information. Public ice skating is open at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, your one-stop source for entertainment in Winston-Salem.
High Point University, the premier life skills university, is ranked the #1 best-run college in America by the Princeton Review. Employers value HPU's real-world preparation. Students love unprecedented access to global leaders on High Point's inspiring campus. And parents appreciate HPU's God, family, and country values. Choose to be extraordinary at High Point University.
Turning rush hour into must-hear sports talk radio. It's On the Drive.
What's happening, everybody? It's WD from The Drive, and we hope you are having a fantastic sports weekend with all of the ACC basketball, the Winter Olympics going on. It's NBA All-Star Weekend, and it's the start of the college baseball season. We will break it all down 4 to 6 p.m. Be listening Monday on WSJS.
Waking Up Prowled on WSJS. Fueling fans, flavor, and fun. The morning show that's always on the prowl is served up by Foster Hobbs Coffee Roasters in High Point. With its fresh specialty roasted beans crafted to order, each cup is a journey. And by High Point University, the premier life skills university and ranked the #1 best-run college in America by the Princeton Review.
Make way for the king.
This is Waking Up Prowled with Stephen Beck.
What's up? Good morning to you, and happy Saturday again. It's Waking Up Prowled. I'm Steven. Follow along with me on X at Stephen Beck TO, and that stands for Teed Off, because we have a brand new site, Teed Off Sports, that we hope you'll go and check out. The direct number to jump in, be a part of the show with me today, 336-777-1600. So much to get to this hour, like the most romantic restaurants in our state. Our state got some really cool news, and it's in, I'd say, like a style of business that I wouldn't first think about North Carolina being really hot into, but apparently we are. We also have a rundown of some of the college basketball games that are happening in the world of sports today. But first, let's get you started with the latest in North Carolina.
Hot off the prowl with Stephen Beck.
A civilian aircraft yesterday was intercepted. Imagine that. You're flying your little Cessna or whatever it is, and you look out the window, and beside of you is an F-16 fighter jet, because the civilian aircraft entered into a temporary restricted airspace. The plane violated the flight restriction that had been set around the presidential visit of Donald Trump to our state out at Fort Bragg yesterday, and this pilot didn't have a flight plan that was filed correctly. All in all, everybody's safe. Plane landed, but it was pushed off course by these fighter jets because they're like, nah, you're not supposed to be where you're at right now. In-person early voting for the 2026 primary elections started statewide here in North Carolina, as voters in all 100 counties can cast ballots starting now through February 28th, ahead of the March 3rd primary. And in some sad news, but putting somewhat of a bow on a story from 2022, an 18-year-old was sentenced yesterday to life in prison, no parole allowed, for a mass shooting that killed 5 people in Raleigh back in 2022. The judge rejected arguments for a chance of a release of this person, citing the severity and premeditation of that crime. Now, I know what you're thinking. Am I listening to the wrong station this morning? What happened? No, we just want to give you an update. Don't forget, I am out and about, hitting the streets wherever I go in search for the best taco. That's right, the Talk About Tour, brought to you by my friends at Foster Hobbs Coffee Roasters in High Point. You can also visit their website, fosterhobbs.com, for all sorts of things like a Chemex if you like doing pour-overs. They have grinders for beans. They also have those specialty roasted small batch beans that are the freshest you'll get. So go and see my friends Mike and Pam. Tell them we sent you at Foster Hobbs in High Point. But they put me out on this journey where I'm going place to place, looking for the best beef soft taco. That's right. Don't do the hard shell stuff. It's a mess. And when I say beef, I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Somebody started ribbing me on social media about being gringo and only wanting like a little beef taco. No, I'm just trying to keep things straight up. I'm trying to keep it a level playing field for all these different places as best as possible. You got to have some type of ground rule here. And yeah, we've already done a couple of places. You can see those Talk About Tour rankings at teedoffsports.com. But we want your suggestions as well. You can do that there. We have a little contact form. You can go and tell me like, hey, these are my spots. This is where you should go and hit up for the best taco. And I'll go. I'm telling you, I'll go and try it. We video them. We put them up on social media and online. And it's been a good time so far. Some other items that we couldn't squeeze into hot off the prow, but they were happening here in our state this week. And one right here in our backyard is possibly a nightmare for me. A little bit overlooked probably by a lot of people. I think there's a movie out. 336-777-1600. I could use a helping hand this morning for anybody that may be like a movie buff that could tell me if I'm right on this. But there's some kind of movie out there, and it was some type of Halloween, I believe, haunt style thriller movie called Birds. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if I walked up on this scene in North Carolina this week, right here in the Triad, I'd have a hard time. Like this is, I don't like being in and around a bunch of flapping things in close quarters, worried that they're going to peck my eyes out. Rescuers were called out to a home in Greensboro, and they were originally expecting to find pigeons there. I mean, like that they knew that going in. When they arrived on scene, though, this week, they discovered 550 pigeons crammed inside of a shed behind a house. Many of these pigeons were sick, emaciated, in need of medical attention. And this is immediately an animal hoarding case that prompted this intervention. Sammy's Haven and a Carolina Waterfowl Rescue Group were among organizations that went out. They assisted in these efforts to try to get these birds back to health, put them in the right facility. and get them the medical attention that they needed. But 550 pigeons shoved into small quarters, flapping around, freaking out as soon as they hear a noise. Because I don't know if you've ever walked up on a pigeon near like a bird feeder or something. Usually them and doves, they're kind of hard to distinguish between, but like I just be walking by a bird feeder and they're down on the ground. They're the ones that'll hop around underneath a feeder, eating up all the other stuff that all the other birds and squirrels have knocked on the ground. And as soon as you walk up, it never fails. That was a turkey probably, but it's the same idea. Like they all flutter off and freak out, and it gets me every time. Like that's not something I'm messing around with. While you were out and about this week, potentially buying things for loved ones, it is Valentine's Day. Lots of shopping done. You got to get out there and find little knickknacks. Flowers is obviously a popular choice. In our state, though, I want to inform you to just be vigilant. Be a little careful, because this is a real deal here that I know I don't think about every time I go and swipe my card or pay for something. But several retail locations inside of our state this week were fined after inspectors found out that shoppers were being overcharged at the register due to price scanner errors. It means that what they were being charged didn't match the advertised shelf price. So like you walk up, you say, okay, I want to get this box of chocolates off the shelf here. It's $4.99. You assume when you get up there, as you're buying your detergents and whatever else, paper towels, maybe a bag of chips, you're just beep, 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 scanning through all these different items. You assume you paid the $3.99 or $4.99, whatever it was. And that ain't matching up here in parts of North Carolina. The NC Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services Division conducts periodic unannounced inspections of retail stores with these scanner systems to make sure that price accuracy between the tags and the checkout totals is legit. Now, if the store's overcharge error rate exceeds 2%, it triggers follow-up inspections. I, right there, pause, have a bit of a concern myself. They're allowed to have this fudge room? Whoa. I feel like the overcharge rate shouldn't exceed 0%. But they get 2% that they can mess around with here. Stores that fail these follow-up inspections are then fined penalties. And here in North Carolina, 10 different stores in 9 different counties were fined for those scanner errors, that is. Most of them not like real super close to the triad, but I'm just pitching it out there to you that if it's happening in Brunswick County, Hertford County, Catawba County, Watauga County, all these different places that I could just go down through stores that got this fine, you're here to tell me that ain't happening also right here in our backyard? I'm believing there's a great chance that it is. Worries me because, again, not only is it just like a computerized error that you would probably expect a little bit of to happen along the way, but they get 2% rate here that they can exceed. I don't like that. Just make it 0. Let's knock it out right from the get-go. I want to tell you how our state, North Carolina, is making quite a bit of money. I would have never guessed this. That's going to be coming up right here, waking up proud on Saturday, WSJS.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2026 Winter Games, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit Progressive.com. It was a 2-3 finish for American skiers Jalen Koff and Liz Lemley today. The American freestylers returned to the podium, winning silver and bronze in the women's dual moguls. Lemley, who won moguls gold back on Wednesday, says conditions were not ideal.
Yeah, I mean, it was worse visibility than the singles day, but I think we've all experienced bad days on the mogul course, and yeah, we all sort of know how to handle it, so we just skied the best we could.
The heavy snow continued falling in Bormio during the men's giant slalom, where Brazilian Lucas Pinheiro brought in 1 gold, marking South America's first ever medal at a Winter Games. With this Winter Games update, I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Right now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, you can get 1 free set of brake pads when you buy 2 qualifying brake rotors. Ask the professional parts people about additional brake pad and rotor upgrade options available at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly. Waking up Proud on WSJS. Where the fans roar first with Stephen Beck.
Yeah, it is Waking Up Proud on WSJS, and I'm back here with you at Stephen Beck Tio on X. Give me a follow there, and I'll keep you posted on things like the Talk About Tour that we already shared. Also, other generic thoughts around a lot of different sports happenings, which, by the way, I'm going to share something with you before we talk about this economic impact that has really happened on our state that I personally never would have guessed would be the case. But before I share that with you, we're talking events today on Valentine's. You're looking for something maybe cute to go and do with your spouse. I got it here for you. I mean, this is every man's dream. If you're a lady out there listening, wondering like, what should I get for my hubby on this special day? How about a visit to the 6 Shooters Gun Show up in Mount Airy? 9 a.m. to 5 today. You can go look at guns, ammo, knives, all the accessories like holsters and other things that you might have a desire for, new and used. Plus, if you want to bring your own gun, you can also go there to sell it. But just go to 6shows.com for more information, or if you're head up to Mount Airy, it's 185 Patrol Station Road in Mount Airy from 9 to 5 today, the 6 Shooters Gun Show. Before we talk about this economic impact to our state, it's really an area that doesn't immediately come to mind for me. Immediately, it would probably be like, we'll say, farming. Used to be tobacco. What else would our state be known for? Man, I'm going to have to kind of chew on that. It certainly isn't this one. College basketball is one of them. And so I wanted to run down through some of these games. Local interest might be involved for these. And we'll start with Duke Clemson. Big one there. A noon tip. You can hear the game immediately after Waking Up Proud here on WSJS as Clemson, the 20th ranked team in the nation, visits the Blue Devils, the 4th ranked team in the nation. And good news for Blue Devils fans is that Patrick Gongba is not on their injury list, but I think that will be a test. Fortunate also for Blue Devils is that it's at home. Not so fortunate on the injury front for the University of North Carolina. Caleb Wilson has the fractured hand, out indefinite. Also, though, Henry Vassar, who you would hope would slide in and eat up a lot of those interior presence concerns for the Tar Heels. He is probable. That's good, but it also just means that something nagging is happening there. And I'm here to tell you right now, I don't love that your head coach for the Tar Heel program, who's supposed to have answers. Yes, we just folded to Miami after we had gotten our best win of the season against our arch nemesis Duke team. He acted ambivalent, almost like I don't have a clue what you're talking about in the press conference the other night after it was clear that Caleb was dealing with an injury and had his hand wrapped.
What was Caleb's situation with his left hand?
There was no situation.
I mean, he's heavily wrapped. Did that impair his ability when he came back?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I'm not buying what you're selling, number one, Hubert. Number two, if that is really you, though, and you don't have a handle on this whole program that you're supposed to be pushing the right buttons for and have all the answers for and be in the know of, then I wouldn't be so happy or confident for certain if I was a Tar Heels fan. Some other games going on with maybe some local interest to it. High Point University playing early afternoon game in Boiling Springs against fellow North Carolina opponent Gardner-Webb. High Point right now on top of the Big South Conference, tied with Winthrop. But if the Panthers win today on the road, they will be first overall in that league. Wake Forest at home in Winston-Salem today playing Stanford. And the Deacs got a good win against Georgia Tech just a couple of nights ago. So hopeful that they can kind of keep that going against a Stanford team who's really been up and down and all over. We talked about Miami beating the Tar Heels and getting really a solid win for their resume. Now 8-3 for the Hurricanes in the ACC. Well, they travel to Raleigh today to the Lenovo Center, a 4:00 tip to play NC State, who, aside from a recent loss for them, had been on a tear. So you'd like to think that Will Wade will really try to push his guys to show back up and get back on track with today's game. A couple other local games. We've got App State playing this afternoon. As I scroll through here on my list, the Mountaineers are at the top of the Sun Belt League. Dustin Kearns, their head coach. Honestly, I was at Lenoir-Rhyne when App State defeated High Point. That at that point was their best win of the season. It may still be their best win, but App State plays at James Madison later today at 4:00. And right now, Dustin has his team at 10-4 in the Sun Belt Conference. Surprising a lot of folks, myself included, that they are seated that high up there. Jennings is an incredible talent for App State. And actually, we have Mountaineer Talk live here on WSJS, including the Mountaineer Minute that you can catch to hear all those details. As I've stated already, our state may or may not be known for a lot of different economic impacts that benefit those of us that live here and we work here and we play here. But this wasn't one of the ones that immediately would come to my mind. I think if you're out at the coast, it might be more front and center for you. But for me, it just, I wouldn't say like, oh, North Carolina, they're known for this. But it came out this week that film and TV production activity here in the state generates about $185.5 million in direct spending. That was for last year, 2025. It's the fourth highest annual total since the NC Film and Entertainment Grant Program started in 2015. 38 different productions were filmed here in the state, and it took place in 45 of our 100 counties. So I had said, like, I know Wilmington, for instance, Brunswick County, really big in the film industry. But no, this is stretched out further than, again, I really would have guessed that it would have been. 11 projects were pre-approved for the state with some different rebates and incentives packaged in, more than $179 million. And those examples, in case you were really wondering, Top Chef season 23 here in our state, Beast Games season 2, and then some different films like Bad Counselors, Driver's Ed, May and the Woodsman, The Bard and the Widow, but $185.5 million to the state because films and TV being filmed right here. It's great, beautiful area. I wouldn't blame them at all. I've got a beautiful spot, maybe for those that are looking to get married here on Valentine's Day. That's coming up for you here on Waking Up Proud.
From Cameron Indoor to the world, this excitement is built on brotherhood, where the crazies roar. Experience the passion, the pride, the power that is Duke basketball. Ready for another March run.
Striking like thunder. Woo! You can never stop me. Nah.
This afternoon, there will be no love at Cameron Indoor for the Blue Devils and Clemson Tigers. Catch every moment on WSJS. Complete schedule at WSJS.com.
Public ice skating is happening at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. Join them for public skating hours, no school skate days, holiday skating, group skating lessons, and party time skating, because parties on ice are the best. Visit WSFairgrounds.com for more information. Public ice skating is open at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, your one-stop source for entertainment in Winston-Salem.
Them big auto dealers talk a lot about price, but what about a dealer that treats you like family? That's why I love Parkway Lincoln here in Winston-Salem. You're not just a dealer, they're your neighbor. Family owned with 2 locations, they offer that quiet, smooth, spacious American luxury SUV you crave, with an experienced staff ready to help. And being an authorized Lincoln dealer, they can get what you need, often at a better price. So bigger isn't always better, is it?
The biggest thing about Parkway Lincoln is they're like family. Online at parkwaylincoln.net.
Play It Again Sports knows how to upgrade your game without upgrading the price. From first-timers to pros, they turn New Year goals into game day wins. Gear up, get out, and play it again, because sitting on the bench is overrated. Where sports get a second win, they offer secondhand gear with first-rate fun. Play it again. Experience the energy of the new year at Play It Again Sports in High Point, Greensboro, and Winston-Salem. Shop online at playitagainsports.com.
Stephen Beck takes you from the bleachers to the breakfast table. With Waking Up Proud on WSJS.
If I haven't already wished you a happy Valentine's Day, here it is. We shared the unpopular opinion earlier that I'm all up for a party. I am. I love celebrating stuff. It's a good time. But these next few, Valentine's today, President's Day Monday, St. Patrick's Day coming up quickly after that, you be the judge. Are those real holidays? I don't know. 336-777-1600. I'm not sold necessarily that they really are. Before I have a sundry of Valentine's things for you this morning, like a beautiful place to go and get married, or a place that you could go and get married with a ton of other folks, like a destination wedding, you might say. I really wanted to get back on top of the University of North Carolina's debate right now, and it's not around Hubert Davis. That's my debate. I'm like, I don't know. This guy really impressed me, beating the Blue Devils. I gave the nod to John Shire, felt like he was the better coach. Now, all of a sudden, Hubert draws up this last-second shot play. They get the win. They came back in the second half for that game. But then you go and lose at Miami. No, that's not really what flipped the switch. The switch has been flipped because I just feel like the dude doesn't have answers as a leader. But that's not the debate right now. The debate is, where are the Tar Heels going to play basketball into the future? The Dean Smith Center has been, of course, that long time court. After Carmichael, it's been the Smith Center for basketball for over 40 years. But the school is trying to finalize a decision about their future, whether it be with the Smith Center or maybe it's somewhere else. So like the primary choices, I think, has been boiled down to, do we renovate the Smith Center, or do we try to build this first-class, all brand-new facility? And a lot of people point to Carolina North because that's property where there's space. It would be easy for them to, blow up something out there. And while they do that, they would just remain in the Smith Center. For me, though, I share just the brief opinion of a lot of former players, of impactful members like Roy Williams have shared, stay at the Smith Center, renovate the thing. Early this week, UNC Chancellor Lee Roberts was cornered about his thoughts and shared what's currently at play here in the decision-making process.
Let me say one more thing about the arena while I have you on here. So there is a commitment on behalf of the administration to run as inclusive a process as possible here and make sure that we're getting as many people around the table as we can and hearing from as many voices as we can. And I think that the passion that you're hearing now is a good thing. It's a positive. It shows the commitment of Carolina Nation to Tar Heel basketball. I'd be much more worried if people didn't care. And how are we going to make this decision? I think we have to think about three considerations. First, and by far the most important, how do we win as many basketball games as possible at a time when that's becoming more expensive for everybody? How do we put the most elite team on the court that we possibly can? We can all think of examples of universities that have tremendous history and tradition. Many of them play in fantastic arenas, but they're no longer considered elite because they didn't keep pace, they didn't continue to innovate. Secondly, how do we get as many students in the arena and as close to the court as possible? It's their program, it's their team. It's what makes college basketball so great. And it also makes it a tough place to play. What helps a competitive advantage in a basketball arena is the students on their feet and hollering, not people like me chatting to their friends and looking at their phones. And then third, the fan experience. So 40 years ago, there were a lot fewer options. We didn't have a hockey team in town. The Lenovo Center didn't exist. People didn't have giant 4K screens in their basements. And so what you're seeing for similar arenas, similar venues around the country is an effort to try to upgrade and enhance the fan experience to get people to fight the traffic, deal with the parking, get out of their living rooms and their rec rooms to come cheer on the Heels. And that's what we want. And those are the considerations that we'll be keeping in mind as we try to make the best decision that we possibly can about the arena.
So those are the latest words from Chancellor Lee Roberts about this significantly sized decision of whether or not they renovate the Dean Smith Center or they go and plop up something entirely new, state-of-the-art Carolina North. I hear that and just, I don't know if maybe I'm choosing to hear it this way. 336-777-1600. You can share your thoughts about whether they should move, whether they should renovate. What are you hearing the chancellor here say? For me, though, I'm quickly hearing him kind of allude to the fact that he feels something new, something state-of-the-art, something the fan experience would be drastically improved. And there's a few things here that he immediately addressed. Is the Dean Smith Center elite? Do the students get fair and predominant access to the closer area around the court? And then the fan experience. Well, I understand all of those trains of thought. And I'd be the first to admit that venues that have seating rights and tickets that go deep back into family lineages, they kind of muddy things when it comes to how students gain access, get close to the floor. And I agree, man. If I were talking up the college basketball experience, it is predominantly driven by the fans, which are predominantly driven by students. The best environments are when the students are there, they've been camping out, they've been dying for access to the venue, and they're loud and proud and rowdy about it. And that impacts the teams on both sides, the flow of the game. It's huge. So I would say if there's anything at all in this whole discussion with the Tar Heels that I feel like, oh, yeah, that's a good point, it would be surrounding the students, because there's minimal space for them right now. The majority of Tar Heel students are forced to be up in the upper deck, and up there, they're not even going to try. The Dean Smith Center's that big, you're not going to hear them. But I'll tell you, with the fan experience and the elite and this, that, and the other, and all, we got to have luxury boxes, or we got to. Now, I am spoiled, big time spoiled. I'm a High Point basketball fan through and through. And the Cobain Center is a venue that is the best in mid-major basketball, but arguably it is top 10 in all of college basketball, not considering how many people you can really jam in there. But it's a beautiful space, and I do appreciate clean, state-of-the-art, all those things. They're cool. But something about tradition is also being stripped from quote-unquote college sports right now. College basketball, college football, they're going through this serious change of its quote-unquote student athletes now becoming professional athletes. That's already pulling and tugging and removing tradition and fan familiarity with players as it is. So the special components to being a college sports fan, they're going bye-bye. And just as quick as you start replacing venues, you're going to be expediting that process that much faster. Big story that I wrote a column on for Teed Off Sports this week. Darren Peterson, freshman star, going to be a first-round guaranteed pick in the NBA draft for the Kansas Jayhawks. He missed Kansas win when they beat Arizona, took away Arizona's undefeated record this season. And that was because a little bit of a spat between he and Bill Self. Self being the head coach of the Jayhawks, and Darren Peterson, their star player, face-to-face in a practice shoot-around earlier in the day. And news says that Darren Peterson was battling a little bit of an illness. He didn't come straight forward and wasn't forthright with the fact that he was going through that. And so Bill Self is laying into him like, dude, we're practicing here. Let's see some effort. Let's give some effort to what we're trying to get done here. Probably said it in harsher words than that, but Darren Peterson made the decision right then. Well, I'm just not going to play. I'll see you later. So it's another game where Peterson misses action and fans begin to pile on. They start freaking out. What do you expect? Why are people talking about this like they're surprised? When you pay players, when you allow them to transfer and have a portal that has no ramifications, or you have to sit out, there's no stopgaps, what do you expect is going to happen? The whole dynamic between player, coach, between player, school, player, fans, it all gets flipped on a head and changes. And that's just a very small thing that begins pulling and stripping at the traditional aspects of college sports that have become so loved. We're going to lose those right in front of our eyes. We're already losing those because if you're a fan of players right now, you better enjoy them for one season. It's hard to really become connected and follow their career, so to speak, because they ain't going to be there with your school very long. So if you're already up in arms about that, surprised that these players would, oh my goodness, they're sitting out, or, ooh, there's some kind of disagreement with their NIL rights and money. Just ask a Duke Blue Devil with Darian Mensah, quarterback, what that's like. Yeah, ooh, we're surprised at that. But now we're also wanting to build new arenas, strip away tradition from the Dean Smith Center. One of my favorite venues, the Hinkle Fieldhouse. It ain't got luxury boxes. They don't worry about fan experience. You get in there, you cheer for the team, you're watching the game. That's what it's about. I got a lot of Valentine's abouts coming up for you here on WSJS on Waking Up Proud.
Let's play ball! Ready for a home run? Wake Forest Baseball is back at the couch, and it's your chance to catch all the action live. Listen to Triad Today, The Drive, and Waking Up Proud for your chance to win tickets. Brought to you by Pancho Villa, serving delicious, authentic, fresh food in Winston-Salem and High Point. Check out the full schedule at WSJS.com. But hurry, these games are hotter than a fastball, and tickets are flying out faster than a grand slam. Wake Forest Baseball. Don't miss it.
It goes from zero to beautiful in just a whiff. Foster Hobbs Coffee Roasters in High Point. A sip of heaven that took a right turn at delicious and landed in the hearts of coffee lovers everywhere. With its fresh specialty roasted beans crafted to order, each cup is a journey from smooth blends to bold global roast. Only Foster Hobbs could brew this kind of magic, and it's called coffee. Now available at fosterhobbs.com. Brew your bliss today.
They work together like a well-oiled machine. Avalon Express Lube and Service, led by quarterback Mac Allen. His team of ASE-certified technicians tackle oil changes, tires, transmission work, brake repair, and inspections. And yes, there's a state-of-the-art car wash, too. Located on Highway 66 South in Cornersville, Avalon Express Lube and Service is a proud supporter of high school athletics in the Triad. For top-tier service, visit Haviland Express Lube and Service, where teamwork drives results.
High Point University, the premier life skills university, is ranked the #1 best-run college in America by the Princeton Review. Employers value HPU's real-world preparation. Students love unprecedented access to global leaders on High Point's inspiring campus. And parents appreciate HPU's God, family, and country values. Choose to be extraordinary at High Point University.
Public ice skating is happening at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. Join them for public skating hours, no school skate days, holiday skating, group skating lessons, and party time skating, because parties on ice are the best. Visit WSFairgrounds.com for more information. Public ice skating is open at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, your one-stop source for entertainment in Winston-Salem.
Winter's chill shouldn't freeze your fun. At WSJS, we're melting the icy blues with the winter wonderland of winning. Imagine a flurry of cool prizes just waiting for you. It's where winter meets winning with bear-sized surprises. Sign up weekly at WSJS.com and let the avalanche of excitement begin. Dive into the warmth of the winter wonderland of winning because we're too cool to hibernate. Visit WSJS.com today.
Stephen Beck's up early and on the hunt.
I'm a hustler, been working 9 to 9. That's 24 hours. I'm grinding all the time.
It's Waking Up Proud on WSJS.
We're back on Waking Up Proud, and I am back with you at Stephen Beck TO on X. And I hope you'll check out teedoffsports.com, where we just popped up a brand new podcast for you called Between the Shanks, covering golf, and talked about a real hot topic right now around Gary Player. If you don't know Gary Player, he is a 9-time major winner, icon in the game of golf. Really, anytime people talk about him, they use this phrase, ambassador of the game, and still does ceremonial tee shots, or had been, at Augusta National. Well, he's got a little bit of controversy with him and Augusta, where the Masters is played, that we talk about. So if you're interested in that, it's teedoffsports.com. or on all your podcast platforms, Between the Shanks. I want to tell you some more Valentine's happenings that will help you throughout the day, maybe some last-second shopping or events that you could jet off to and make your loved one happy, potentially. But before we do that, here's some other top events and headlines in and around sports that you got to also be alert to. Today at the Olympics, there is hockey action for our United States team, preparing for a Group C game against Denmark, and they made a goalie change, it looks like, shifting to Jeremy Swayman to have his Olympic debut. Also, American freestyle skier Jalen Koff came away with a silver medal, and that was in women's moguls, which I think is always a really cool event. They're having to kind of go over all those little humps in the snow and do it at a crazy rapid pace. NBA All-Star Weekend is ongoing, and really the highlight for me is the three-point competition with Con Knippel. That's going to be taking place. He, of course, being former Duke Blue Devil and now rookie for the Charlotte Hornets. I think right now, if you had to do the vote, he would be your rookie of the year in the NBA. And then in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs officially announced a couple more coaching hires ahead of their season coming up. Plus, there's still conversation swirling around the Super Bowl, which one of those items I'm not going to fully get into right now. I'll just say anybody draping on top of Drake May with his performance in that game last weekend doesn't understand football. I'm just going to shoot it to you that way. Dude was injured. You can say that he had less passing touchdowns than Sanders did against above 500 opponents, if you'd like. That's fine. That doesn't do anything for me with regards to the type of season, MVP caliber season that dude had. So it is Valentine's Day today. And sometimes on a special day like this, a holiday, or maybe it's somebody's birthday, or it's just like a primetime calendar event, it's an extra special time that people get caught up in and choose to say, that's when we want to get married. And you can be a part of that today, along with a bunch of others, if you just take a trip to Tijuana, Mexico. They're hosting a large mass wedding ceremony taking place today in downtown Tijuana. Valentine's Day is going to have more than 1,800 couples who have all registered to participate in this collective mass wedding ceremony. They all signed up where they're going to get together in downtown Tijuana, close to Baja California. And it's already a popular destination area for vacationing and weddings to begin with, but it's just going to be one big ceremony. Like what I imagine is you may all now kiss the bride, and 1,800 different couples are all doing that simultaneously. Some kind of joint vow, I'm sure, will be had. If that doesn't really tickle your fancy, you're looking for something a little bit more maybe special, low-key, unique for you and your loved one, then we got you covered on that one as well. Go to Vegas, so you're staying now in country here, and visit the Denny's Wedding Chapel in downtown Las Vegas. I acted a bit surprised because I was earlier when I found out that our state, $185.5 million generated off of the movie and TV production that leads to our economy. That really did surprise me. The other thing that surprised me this morning is that Denny's, that's right, the breakfast chain restaurant establishment, has its own wedding chapel. So they don't only serve big slam grand breakfast or whatever they're known for. They'll serve you up a wedding ceremony. Today, between 7 and 4 Pacific time. So that started just this hour, and it goes until 7 o'clock tonight, our East Coast time. You can sign up for just $199, one day only, special Valentine's wedding at Denny's. It includes a rock and roll style officiant. Again, I'm imagining Elvis, somebody like him, up there as the officiant. Music during the vows, and a keepsake marriage certificate. All of it up and up, completely valid. If you want to get some extra perks, probably takes a little extra pay to celebrate. You can't leave out the over easy overnight kit that Denny's is providing, with Denny's branded pajamas, eye masks, and pillowcases. Or you can enjoy breakfast in bed from Denny's tomorrow. You stay overnight, post a little photo with the hashtag Denny's Toasting Up, and they'll come visit you tomorrow morning and take care of everything. But I know, everybody's like, Beck, dude, we're not jetting off to Tijuana today. You're making it hard on us. Now you're out in Vegas. I can't make all this happen. I've just now woke up. Plus, I forgot today was the special day I've been there. Trust me. I didn't this time. I got the flowers, got the chocolates, and all that other stuff that happened ahead of time to make sure I didn't shoot myself in the foot. But I still got your back here. North Carolina had restaurants on the list of 100 most romantic restaurants across the country. So you still have time. You can still possibly make this. I don't know. You might have to slide a hostess a little bit of green to try to get in, because it's likely that they're booked up. But I'm just going to give them to you real quick. More than 9 million diners left reviews for Open Table. And the metrics went around reservation trends, things like ambiance, lighting, the overall experience, and it came away with the 100 most romantic restaurants across the country. Florida had the most. California, Ohio, that's a little surprise. Ohio, for the Buckeye State, had the second most. Well, North Carolina had our share of our own, 3 of them. Jolo Winery, Ryan's Restaurant, and Steak 48. Get to those places today if you're looking for a last-minute special occasion for Valentine's. It's been a great time with you guys here on Waking Up Proud. We always look forward to these on Saturday mornings. just like we'll do the same next week. TeedOffSports.com all throughout the week for the blogs, the videos, and the fun with me. Plus, WSJS.com for prizes with the Winter Wonderland of Winnings. Duke coming up playing Clemson. Stay right here on WSJS.
Good morning, Jeffrey.
Good morning, Mr. Griffin.
Good morning, Jeffrey.
Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, Jeffrey.